Oseo.
Oseo.
That's a Cherokee greeting. Yate, that's a Navajo greeting. All is well. I am Coyote, and I am the first Native American to be one. Native America, this is November, Nilichi Osi, and it has been given to Native American Heritage Month. Recognition is the way we inherit. Turtle Island is the fetal presence of the pollinating flower field where the great universal wind is blowing through, animating all. Tapuskanskan, we call the Great Spirit. And so that's very much what I want to fulfill on this day today. And I'm going to start off, if we're with me, last week we had the ant and the owl. So we're kind of blending, still blending with the ant and the owl. So I get a good picture of this. The Aniawi is the Cherokee name for the ant people, or the ant clan, or the ant nation. This one is Aniawi, the Red Ant Way. The red young men under the ground, decorated with red feathers, at the center of a teepee-shaped house. I gave them a beautiful red stone. When someone does the same for me, I'll walk this red earth. From deep under the earth, they are starting off. The old men under the earth are starting off. They are decorated with red feathers and starting off at the center of the teepee-shaped house. They are starting off because I gave them a beautiful red stone. They are starting off. When someone does the same for me, I'll walk this red earth like them. And starting off on the good red road, and on this road, Chankuluta, we are together. Starting off from deep under the earth, we're starting off. Yo-hey-ya, hey-ya, a-hey-ya, hey-ya, a-hey-ya, hey-ya. Place. All in Native America, Turtle Island, we are concerned with place. Place, you could say, represents a spiritual power or spiritual energy. Last week, I presented the owls who live in the cave underneath the big rock, and that is a real place there at Winnemucca. What it really is that that is the place where our great-great-grandmother abode is. And so that was a place. Here, I'm introducing also a place. Here, this illustration here is representing a place. This is actually, like I would call it, a holy rock. It's Si-ge, or Si-lichik-sini, meaning this is the place where the rock has a black hole in it. It's in it. And it is located, the place is located up on the northern San Juan River, north of Dinata, or the northern border of Dinata. And that is a place. Even though I haven't personally seen it, I know that it exists there. It's also Black Body. And Black Body is also, this is the home of the deities, as we call them, the Gie. And one instance where Rainbow was kind of splintered apart by winter thunder, like that. So the spirits brought Rainbow here to this place, because this place is Ida, meaning this is a safe place. So it's also the place or the home, the hogan, of the deities, where they come from. So that we want to know that this is a place. So we can say love is also a place. That's how we have that. And this display here is, we naturally refer to it, this is an altar. But the name for altar, altaria, means a place where offerings are burned. And here, that would be incense. And here I have the sage as the place where offerings are burned. The incense is actually a gift from the owl to people. That's why we have this. Another name is masnid. Masnid is an Arabic name meaning the high or raised nest. And that will figure in a story that I'm going to tell. So that's also relevant. Another word for the nest is to look at this. This is a medicine pouch, for a medicine bundle. This was a gift to me from Tim Britton for my birthday. And the name of this is Wopia. This means also nest. So here you're looking at also nest. I'm showing ways that the ants and the owls have cultures in Native America. And with this present episode I'm doing, I'm emphasizing the owl and the attributes and the meanings for the owl. And leaving from last week, where the owl had brought the little shinnig, that is the ant boy or person, there to their cave, where he becomes regenerated until it's time to return him back to the place where Old Man Owl had found him. And so the last lines of that he, flew off, leaving me there, wondering what did he mean, somewhere there exists my mother and my father. He also gave to me a fire poker. That's konishiji. And that fire poker I'm illustrating right here. So you're focusing on that. It's a kind of a magnetic compass. In other words, it is pointing towards the home of my mother. Why would it be? Because in her hogan there's a hearth, there's a fire. And so that's the way that this fire poker is pointing. And that was the gift to me from the owl. So I would find the way to my mother's home. And throughout Native America, the fire poker figures in all different kind of ways. This one is what's relevant to my theme here today. That's the way I'm doing this. Other things here in my illustrations here, I want to point out here. This here is I take it bronze made female owl. I brought this from Yucatan, Mexico. It had been dredged up from the Coyote. It is 1,000 years old, and it would have been naturally an offering. Somebody made the offering. It was cast somewhere in Central America, no doubt, and brought to the Coyote in Yucatan and made an offering there. So that's very significant to see that here. We go over to the other side. I have an owl, I guess it's brass or copper, and it's from India. That's from India. So we can see different things here. And then the owl here in the center, this is a folk art from Mexico. Here. Then if we go down below here, this is very good. I actually found this in Arizona last time I was over there. Always see figures of the man with the buffalo horns or coyote or wolf headdresses, but this one was unique because it is the owl man. All of this I am signifying what the importance to our culture the owl is. So all my display here is all to bespeak of the culture of owl. Alongside of him here, this is carved out of turquoise, and I'm not sure who made it, but it's a beautiful little turquoise piece of an owl for the owl. And on the other side, I think this is from Canada, but it looks very much like the kind of owl for the Greek Athena. And with a mention of that, to go over to this side over here that I've replicated, this is meaning to stand for Athena, the Libyan Greek Athena. For her symbol is also the owl. And amulets and carvings and all kind of things in the ancient world, bespeak of her, and that's where I have taken this from. And then we go down here over the other side here, that I've made this piece here is a red striped owl. The relevant name for this is Kobe Ikiya, meaning it is the attraction spirit. The attraction spirit. Melanie, who made our acquaintance, followed the signals given by the striped owl, who drew her to us up there in Idlewild at the Silver Pines Lodge. So this is an attraction spirit. It has the power to attract that. The striped owl is very, very ancient. And here above it, I have my replica of 10,000-year-old from Spirit Cave. That is also red and white striped. So you can see the relevance of this. Ostensibly in the cave, it was the ground in there is very soft, almost like powder. I've been in there, and this was, when you say put in the ground, was not in the envelope that contained the mummy called Spirit Caveman. So that is the evidence of how old the red and white striped owl is, and people in Native America have that as a sacred owl in that way. The other thing I'm showing you here, this is a wand with the downy plume, and this is a way to speak of softness and the owl and the softness of the owl. So to seek that softness and tenderness and the like for this mind. And what mind can be smooth enough to receive the imprint of this downy feather. So to sort of realize here, we have some very powerful spirits and icons, buffalo, Wakantanka and all that, and we have, eagles and hawks, and we have all these strong things. But also that here is the owl is soft and tender, and that the downy feather is actually the way to, feel that, to remember that, meaning soft is hard to feel, like that. An anecdote from myself, in the past, I had studied martial arts, and mainly karate. And so all these things seem to be very hard actions and things like that. You're hitting things and like that, and I could feel all that in my body. So with Claudia, we found a Tai Chi master over there, Mrs. Hyman, and we took Tai Chi. And that Tai Chi, for me, was a softness, a kind of an antidote to the karate and all that hardness. So anyway, that's kind of an idea of, thinking of something like that. What kind of mind can give me that softness to really consider that? I want to have that in there. The other thing here, if we go here, up here, this here is the story that I'm going to tell you of a coyote, and he's flying in the owl's nest. So now you see around the shield there are these feathers. Then I'm showing you what this is. These are down feathers that are twisted around a cotton string. And the symbol that it means is conveyance. This is a symbol of conveyance. The cotton would kind of represent a rainbow. You know, rainbows have, you know, various kinds of mobilities. So the cotton is kind of a rainbow, but it actually means here with the feathers a conveyance. And so that's why I put it around the shield to stand for this nest that's going to be flying. And while we're up there, could you just kind of go over here and just look at this is the Coyote star. And I showed this last week. What it means is, and this, you know, this is to symbolize the Coyote star. It means it's in the center of the sky, but we can't see it. It is invisible. So how do we know it's there? Because of the presence. All the things that are going on now, these changes, you know, the virus, I mean, elections, I mean, all kind of things are going on. So when you have this kind of a intensity or volume of occurrences, that's the presence of Coyote star in the center of the sky. So we definitely want to have that in there. Now let me go on now with the story about this up here with Coyote in the nest. It's called actually the owl's nest, you know. Takahangan wa Hopi. Coyote ever interested in how the other animals manage to do that which is in their nature that they're able to do. And it might be to his advantage if he could do it too. Now, owl, of course, has the advantage of silently getting the drop on its prey. Now, what if I could do that, Coyote says. Well, the only thing Coyote can see is that owl's nest, Wakahopi. And that's just what he's up to. So he climbs up there to that owl's nest, and once up there and seated in the nest, just like a pilot in the cockpit there, he says, "Hakia, I want you to fly." It's what he says to the nest, and the nest took off and flew with Coyote in it. It moved through the air in the night, hooting, hoo, 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 as it went, until Coyote says, "Whoa, whoa, nest, whoa, let's stop right here." And the nest stopped, hovering there in the night and the falling snow. It being so dark and needing some light, Coyote reached out and grasped a paw full of fresh white snow. Hoo hoo, hoo hoo. And the snow gave him light. Eventually, the owl's nest and the coyote landed down on the ground. And it also happened to be a prairie dog's town. So then, of course, one of those prairie dog residents came running over, you know, to greet, you know, these landing nest and coyote, to greet them. And when that prairie dog saw that the nest had a light that was being lit with only snow, he exclaimed out loud, "Hey, everybody, come and look! Hey, look, the snow is burning!" Right away, the light went out. So there, you can begin to put that together and see what we're talking about in this owl culture with coyote in it. Incidentally, the Lakota name for the owl is really means that it means the snow, something soft, you know, silently falling down. So that's very good. Now everybody, all my fans, all love Mary Oliver, and wow, she really comes through for me. You know, we have this book, White Pine, and we just found that up there in Ottawa, and so sure enough, she comes through again for me on this theme. So listen in, everybody. This one, Mary Oliver, Owl in the Black Oaks. If a lynx, that plush fellow, climbed down a tree and left behind his face, his thick neck, and, most of all, the lamps of his eyes, there you would have it, the owl, the very owl. The very owl who haunts these trees, choosing from the swash of branches the slight perches and ledges of his acrobatics. Almost every day I spy him out among the knots and the burls, looking down at his huge feet, at the path curving through the trees, at whatever is coming up the hill toward him. And though I'm never ready, though something unspeakably cold always drops through my heart, it is a moment as lavish as it is fearful. There is such pomp in the gown of his feathers and the lilt silk of his eyes. Surely he is one of the mighty kings of this world. Sometimes, as I keep coming, he simply flies away. And sometimes his whole body tilts forward and the beak opens, clean and wonderful, like a cup of gold. Goodbye, goodbye, owl in the black oaks.